Hello, everybody, and welcome to our check-in. We are going to continue with the music summer series, and we're also going to continue with the 1980s because there's some things that I thought I would talk about today, and some are just for fun. Some is obviously to have some kind of a positive message that I'd like to share with you guys. So, excuse me. The first song from the 1980s. Well, let me back it up. So, I thought the theme for today is going to be the word love. And we're going to talk about different types of kind of love in this situation. The first song that I want to talk about is by Huey Lewis and the News, and it's called The Power of Love. And that song reminds me of the movie Back to the Future because it was one of the songs from that movie. And, thinking about that movie is, Marty McFly, the character, the one that always like, hello, McFly. Marty McFly goes back in time and he sees his father and his mother, and they don't seem like they're connecting. And he needs them to get together, because then he won't exist, right? So he has to make sure that they get back together. But he learns a little bit about his parents by going back in time. And the mother is more of a popular type girl, the father's not so much. But it's just that idea of the power of love. It just, people get connected. So you have to look past, sometimes just how people look. It's like getting to know the people. And I'm not even talking about like boyfriend girlfriend stuff necessarily, but sometimes you just have to get to know people better. So this song, The Power of Love, here's some of the lyrics from that song. It said, and I don't do this song justice because this song is very upbeat. I love this song. Get it, love. Okay. It says, don't need money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden and it's cruel sometimes, but it just might save your life. That's the power of love. So I would definitely recommend listening to that tune. It's very upbeat and catchy. The air conditioner just went on. But I think the reason why I like the song so much is love is very, powerful. It makes people do crazy things, obviously, but also it's just showing your compassion and love for others is very, very important. So one of the other lines from this is said, kind of like first time it might make you feel sad and it might even make you feel mad, but really is the power, like that love power is what makes the world go round. It's the idea that you can interact with people, show love, show compassion. It's really what connects people, really is the love. Because no matter what culture you're from, no matter what race you are, ethnicity, gender, it doesn't matter. Love is something that everybody, wants and needs because it's a compassion from others that makes us feel great. Okay, so let's keep this rocking going. So thinking about love, sometimes, every time you think about that song, Power of Love, I know from the movie Back to the Future, you're talking about, like two people getting together, maybe to get married. But sometimes it's the power of love is being a good friend to somebody. So the next song that I wanted to talk about is from Lionel Richie, and it's called Say You, Say Me. So I'm going to read this, some lyrics from the song. It said, as we go down life's lonesome highway, seems the hardest thing to do is to find a friend or two. That helping hand, someone who understands that when you feel you've lost your way, you've got someone there to say, I'll show you. Say you, say me for always, that's the way it should be. Say you, say me together, naturally. So you think you know the answers, oh no. Well, the whole world has got you dancing, that's right, I'm telling you. It's time to start believing, oh yes, believe who you are a shining star. Now, obviously, I'm not really doing that song justice, but it's the idea that friendship is very powerful. And sometimes, if you feel like you've lost your way, that's where your friends come in and help guide you. It could be your parents that help guide you. It's the idea that friendship is very important. Friendship is like a different kind of love, I guess. I know my buddy who lives in Maryland. I asked for help for something and he would drive up like no questions asked. He's like, you need me there? I'm there. And he comes. And that's what really a good friend is. Somebody who is there for you no matter what. It's just one of those things. I think it's it's important. So that song is Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie. It's very slow, the song, but it's just, if you just sit and listen to the words, it is a very powerful meaning behind it, that sometimes we get lost, and there are people that are going to help show us the right direction, or at least get back on track, because sometimes you just need that support to kind of help keep you going. So it could be your family, it could be your friends, you know, if you need your teachers or whatever, that we're here for you too. So before I get to the last song, there's a song that I'm not really going to go over the lyrics. I'm just going to talk about the video because it's killer. So there's this song called Take On Me by a-ha. And the thing that's so cool about this video from the 80s is there's like a woman at a diner and she's looking at this cartoon or comic strip, and it's like the comic comes to life. And the special effects at that time are pretty awesome. But it's the idea that, you know, this main singer, right, from this lead singer of a-ha, he's like in it and he's like doing all this stuff, and he's trying to get out of this comic strip to be with this girl. So he's like banging on the side, boom, 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 and he finally gets out. And when he gets out, you know, she looks at him, she's happy. But the thing about the guy that doing that was painful, but he did that because he cared for another person. And the reason why I'm saying this is sometimes I feel, you know, people spend a lot of time focusing so much on themselves, and I'm not saying anyone who's watching this necessarily, but focusing so much on themselves that they're not willing to do for others. They're not willing to inconvenience themselves to do for others. But showing true love is really sometimes inconveniencing yourself for the benefit of others. So like, for example, here's like a small thing, and I'm sure your parents can relate to this. Sometimes we'll make dinner and I'll start giving out the food, and as I'm giving it out, I realize maybe I didn't make enough, right? And I have to think, okay, I know my kids like this meal, so I, as a parent, am willing to take significantly less because I want to make sure that they get the food, because they're obviously my kids. You know, your parents sometimes will do things for you where you won't even know, and they're like, they're taking from themselves, inconveniencing themselves for you. And I think, you know, we do that as friendships too. You know, you're playing games, you're doing certain things where you might, you know, not do something for yourself to benefit your friend. And I think, I'm not saying you should always inconvenience yourself, but the reality is, if you're a good friend, you're a good family member, sometimes you do have to put your own interests aside in order to show love and compassion for someone else, to allow them to have what they need, right? So I think, like going back to that, you know, the song of the Rolling Stones, when you're talking about you don't always get what you want, sometimes you get what you need. Sometimes you have to not get what you specifically want to help someone else get what they need. Okay, so, but keeping that in line, the last song that I wanted to talk about is, it's interesting because I've been thinking, there is a group, it's Queen, obviously, I talked about earlier, but there's also a singer, his name is David Bowie, and together they worked on this really awesome tune called Under Pressure. Now later on down the line, Vanilla Ice will take that tune, you know, doom, 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 doo, doo, doom, doom, and he'll start jamming out Ice, Ice Baby with the big hair and all that good stuff. But this song, the reason why I wanted to share this song, well, I'll get to that after, but here's some of the lyrics from Under Pressure. It said, it's basically talking about life's pressures, like gets on top of you. And it says, you know, love is obviously a key factor in this tune. It says, can't we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love that one more chance? Why can't we give love, and it goes on and on and on. And then it says, 'cause love's such an old-fashioned word, and love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night. And love, people on the streets, dare you to change our way of caring about ourselves. This is our last dance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves under pressure. So pressures are all around us. It can be peer pressures, it can be family pressure, it can be financial pressure, it can be physical pressure, like you name it. We're dealing with pressure and stress all the time. And the reason why I picked this song is because how you can overcome some of these pressures is through love and second chances. So, looks like it's about to storm. So the idea here is that, you know, you might get in an argument with your friend, right? But doesn't mean you should stop being friends. I mean, unless the argument is something that's just like you can't turn back. But generally, most arguments are not that way. Um, you know, my wife and I will argue occasionally, not that really that often, but we'll argue occasionally, but you don't stop, caring for somebody because you have a disagreement. And that's one of the things that I want to stress to you. Sometimes when you get in your head, like you have a disagreement and you're just like, that's it, we can't be friends anymore. And then you just leave. And that's not beneficial to anybody, right? It's not beneficial to you. It's not beneficial to the other kid. So I think showing that compassion, giving second chances, and showing love, because sometimes love is biting your tongue. Somebody does something or says something, you want to maybe respond, but you can't because you're like, no, I care about that person. I don't want to hurt that person's feelings. It could also be that, love is just something that keeps you motivated to, get up the next morning. You're like, all right, today's going to be a good day. You got to think positive. My mother always used to tell me, you kill people with kindness. She told me that she used to have a boss a long time ago that wasn't the most pleasant person, but she was just overly nice to him all the time. And he kind of changed his ways. I didn't even think it was going to be a thing, but he did. He changed his ways, and he turned out to be a pretty nice guy. I think because he realized that my mother was going to be nice to him regardless. And I think when you're nice to people and you show compassion, you show caring and understanding, I think it goes a long way. So when I think about, that's why you think about, like, if you're in love, right, you get to that point in your age, you fall in love, like your parents, they hear certain songs, they're like, yes, all right, love, but then sometimes, people will go through life experiences where you hear that same song and it just like it crushes your soul. So that's why music is so powerful. But let's stay positive. Let's keep that music rolling. We'll have more music to come. I think I'm going to probably end this video because it looks like the, I don't know, storm apocalypse is coming. It looks so gloomy out here. I don't know if you can really kind of see. I'm going to get inside before I, get soaked. But I hope you can give these songs a chance. Queen, Under Pressure, love that song. Take on Me by a-ha. The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, and Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie. So until our next check-in, keep that power of love alive, my friends. Peace out.